Welcome to this week's episode of Behind the Badge with the Allen Police Department. We're your hosts, Sam Rippamani and Alexis Birmingham.
And today we're in Allen, Texas with Officer Mike Delio with the Community Relations Unit.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank
Mike.
you.
So tell us a little bit about being in the Community Relations Unit.
Yeah, so I've been in the Community Relations Unit now for 2.5 years. So it's close to my 12-year anniversary here now for Allen. So we do all the community outreach, all the public education. Some of our biggest programs are the rape aggression defense courses that are for women only. That's typically every month, all year round. A little bit of breaks. That runs for 4 consecutive sessions on Tuesday nights. We have a Condition 6, which are free community group workout programs on Wednesdays and Fridays. That is at 6 a.m. You got to get up a bit early to work out with me. We do the CRAZE, which is a civilian response to active shooter events, active attack. We do security surveys for regular, housing, residential apartment complexes. Most of it is for businesses. And we're the first police department in Texas that is a community education partner with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So that replaces, or rather updates, some of like the stranger danger and a lot of the internet safety for all our young kids. So Citizens Police Academy as well, but that is twice per year. So right now I'm closing that up. Right now I'm coordinating that. And we do a plethora of all sorts of other things. Those are just the ones that we're kind of most well known for. And you can see that on our website, to the community outreach section. You can get all that information, plus way more than what I just told you.
Gotcha. So Citizen Police Academy, if somebody wanted to sign up for that, what kind of commitment is that?
So it's a lot. Typically, and sometimes it can fluctuate, but typically it's going to be about 11 sessions on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Not all of them. There'll be some exceptions like, maybe a Tuesday or Wednesday, like one time, and then maybe a Saturday driving. But it'll be 11 of those. They're 3 hours because they run from 6 p.m. all the way till 9 o'clock at night. We try to get you out by 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So there's definitely a huge time involvement in that regard, but we make it well worth your time, entertaining, hopefully,
yeah.
I think, and that you'll learn a lot throughout your course about law enforcement and how you can better serve your community.
I got you. So by entertaining, can you elaborate? Like, what are you talking about? They getting to shoot guns?
They do. So they get to shoot a handgun, right? They get to shoot a pistol, and they do get to shoot a rifle. Plus, they get some demos.
So it's a free class for citizens.
Free.
To sign up.
All our programs are free.
We give them a gun to shoot. We don't give them a gun.
They don't get to keep it.
They don't get to keep it.
They don't get to keep it.
Let them shoot a gun. Drive a police car?
That's right. They do get to drive.
Oh.
They do get to drive our pursuit driving course.
What's some of the other stuff they do during that class?
So K9 is one of the highlights. So they'll go out to our K9 training field. So our K9 partners will come out. They'll get to see demonstrations for that. And narcotic investigations, that's always really, people find that interesting, like the dark web, cell phone extraction, obviously just a regular general overview of crime scene in general, which leads into CSI, not like what you see on TV, but they'll come in and they'll show you some of the technologies that you might not be aware of to lift fingerprints. And there's just a lot of material that we go off. Like, it's packed.
I know when I've talked about the dark web at different events that I've been at, people are shocked. They're like, that's real? They think it's movies, but it's like the dark web exists.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Aren't they able to volunteer also after completing the program, or what all goes into that?
So that is our pretty much like the only way to segue into volunteers in policing or citizens on patrol. And what that means is, if after you've done the Citizens Police Academy and you've expressed interest that you want to do more, where you would like to drive around, I'm sure hopefully you've seen those vehicles that are marked. They look like police cars, but they'll say citizen on patrol, and you can volunteer your time further to just be another set of eyes on the street. But let's say you're like, I still want to help. I don't really want to put myself out there like that. You can, the VIP, the volunteers in policing, like maybe work in the front desk. Maybe we can find something clerical inside the police department, because there's always, they don't tell you that when you sign up for this job. There's a lot of paperwork involved. Okay, so we can always use the help in other areas.
That's awesome. Shift gears a little bit. You talked about a 6 a.m. workout. Now, I know that's early, but if I'm not mistaken, that's your workout program. You created, right?
Yep. So I've been training that way for probably like 15 plus years. So I knew that I wanted to do something with the community. So that's what came natural to me. One, because it's cost effective, because it's a free program, but we didn't spend any money on equipment or like that. It's all calisthenics. It's all body weight. where I show things that are more difficult, things that are easier. So it's really accessible for the public as long as you're willing to get up. I tell people the hardest part is getting there. The rest is easy. I'll get you the rest of the way. You got to show up. You got to make it. So those are on our Eventbrite, which we switch over to that, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk about that a little bit later during this episode. But that's how you would register, just like you would for RAD and all the other classes that we have. That's how you would do it.
Gotcha. Let's go year round.
I take very little breaks. Like I take a very small break for Thanksgiving and a very small break for Christmas time, but pretty much it's every Wednesday and Friday, and I just do it nonstop. So I say a healthy community is going to be a happy community. So that's our goal.
You just started another fitness initiative here in Allen. I think it was brought by Chief Dye.
So I didn't start it, but I was brought in early to the meetings. So I've had a lot of input for, one, looking at what our new hire testing would be. But right now, I think what you're talking about is for our current officers, our incumbents. And that is a fitness test that does have a compensation. So the goal is to incentivize and promote just a healthier, workforce, right? That's huge benefits because it can reduce, injuries, worker comp claims, get you faster back in action if you were to get injured.
Yeah.
And it just helps to other aspects of our job, as you can imagine, right? With all the things that we got to do that's physical. So I had assistance, obviously, from other people in the department, and we just finished proctoring all the tests for the whole department. So that was a lot of work, but we got through it and got everyone through it. But it was a lot of fun doing it.
Well, aside from, I guess, the fitness part of it, isn't there, also it stands for Fit Force, or what all goes into that? So
one of the things that Chief Dye brought over was the Fit Force, which everybody, when they hear that, they automatically just think of the physical component. But there's so much more than that. There's the financial, there's the spiritual, and the emotional side of it. So it's a more holistic approach to that, right? To make sure that some areas that law enforcement tends to kind of neglect, right? Like, for instance, like emotional support, especially like when you see different things about your career that we weren't always the best at doing, right? That's making sure that we improve those things. So like, for instance, we had it before, but he's big on making sure that we keep building our peer support team, which we have. So we have a lot of great things here at the Allen Police Department that we're very fortunate for.
You said something about there's compensation, or there's goals or incentives if you hit certain reps.
Yes, every extra rep you got, once you hit a certain threshold, you're in the game and you got your 6 hours, and then after that, every repetition after that, which for those, you're like, well, what's the test? Well, it's you run 75 yards, and hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying this. You run 75 yards, you do your 3 push-ups, like chest to ground, make sure it's fair, right? You run back 75 yards, you do 2 burpees, you run back 75 yards, you do your 3 push-ups, and it just keeps going for 15 minutes. So every rep that you can do, which like the completion of every calisthenic portion, like the completion of the push-ups after that run, that's a rep. The completion of the burpees after that run, it's a rep. So as many reps as you get, each rep is an extra hour. So he wanted to make sure that even the people that were getting after it and that were training, that they still had something to aspire to try to kind of push it further. And that's why it's kind of left in that fashion, where every rep counts.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about transferring from your police department or wanting to be a police officer, you get time off with pay here in Allen.
That's right.
As long as you're fit, you perform on the fitness test. So that's pretty awesome incentive.
And you get fitness bars. I always said you'd be surprised what people do for a T-shirt. Well, we got T-shirts. All right, we're going to have quarter zips or hoodies. We're going to have the fitness bar, like I was saying, which that'll be hard to get because that'll be, your top 10%. So, and then a challenge coin that's even higher, that's even more difficult. So we'll have a special challenge coin. So we got a lot of cool stuff coming for the officers.
Oh, yeah.
So you said you were with Allen for almost 12 years. Do you have any great stories that you can share with us?
I got a lot of funny stories, but a lot of officers do, but they're not always appropriate where we can share just out there. But one thing I think I can, that I always tell this story is, and this was in field training. So for people that are listening, you typically, for Allen, Texas at least, we're by ourselves in a squad car. That's how we can get more presence everywhere. So I was in field training. That's why I had someone sitting in my passenger seat. So a pursuit came out, and it wasn't too late, but it was around 6 or 7 p.m., so the traffic was still somewhat dense. And so a pursuit had initiated going northbound on the US 75. So I was quickly became the second unit, and we're weaving in and out. At some point, they got it. And you said, well, why are we chasing them? The story for that is there was loss prevention was following an organized retail theft ring from all the way multiple different cities down south, like Dallas and like Arlington, like all over, right? And they came to Allen, right? Because we have the Allen Premium Outlet Mall, so that's pretty dense, right? That's a rich opportunity if that's what you're looking for. So they came up, they were followed, and then officers coordinated with loss prevention, located the thieves with the vehicle, and that's how that kicked off, right?
Yeah.
So sorry about that. We're picking back up. We're chasing them on the 175, and I start to lose ground a little bit. So the first officer is kind of getting ahead because the traffic is dense. They take an exit, and the timing is off where it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that exit in time. And so I'm used to running code. It's not a big deal. I used to run code all the time when I was working in Dallas, right? As a firefighter, run code to everything. But my field training officer, he grabbed the top, handle, and he's just yelling he's like, we're gonna die, because I'm driving fast, and he's like, you missed the exit, and I'm calm. I told him, I was like, I got this. It's fine. Like, I got this. I'm not really worried about it. He's a little stressed, and I know that it looks like I missed the exit, but I already know that I'm gonna take like the grass median, probably going about 80 miles or so. Like, I know that I'm going to take an unconventional route to get off this highway. So I don't know what it looks like now, because that was like 12 plus years. That was like, not 12. I'm sorry. That was like 10 or 11 years ago. It's been a while.
Crown Vic days? Or?
So I must have been in a Tahoe. Okay. Yeah, I must have been in a Tahoe. So I get it, right? It's a little bumpy. It's like boom, 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 boom. I get it, right? And I'm back in it, right? I'm back in the pursuit. And we saw the suspect car take this huge dip, and they got some air. As we were going into a hotel parking lot, and then the other squad car in front of us took some air, and we took some air. So my head smacked into the roof of the squad car. It's right. It didn't really hurt.
The first two cars weren't.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous looking.
Slow y'all down?
Nah, we were in it,
and that ended well, right?
Yeah, nobody got hurt. Everything worked out fine.
That's awesome.
Did you start your career with Allen, or are you originally from Allen, Texas?
No, so I don't think I have much of an accent, but sometimes it just depends on who I talk to. I'm actually from Queens, from Ozone Park, New York. That's where my family's from. That's where I met my wife, which I've been with my wife since 1998. So it's been a pretty long time. I got 4 kids. So I mean, that I lived in Allen now for about 15 plus years, because that's how it started. So I was just going to join because I have family that's NYPD and FDNY. I was just going to join NYPD. Got to the point, because it's a long story, but I had started with Austin PD very briefly, like in 2006. And then my oldest has a very rare, severe genetic disorder. So we didn't have any family down in Texas. So we went back, kind of got reacclimated. And then I was trying to get back to Texas. It wasn't working out. But then Dallas was just randomly, I didn't think I was going to get hired by Dallas Fire, and I was ready like in the final stages for like NYPD to go on there, and I was flying back and forth for Dallas while I was being a warehouse manager. I was managing like an entire city block in Brooklyn, like in a really bad place that's like right next to the Pink projects, because the leasing office used to be Pink, and my employees would get robbed at gunpoint, like getting off the getting off the bus. So it was a rough neighborhood. I'd have like employees, like I'd see line supervisors I was managing, they'd be like running, getting chased by employees. Anyways, I digress. So I'm flying that, and then they give me a conditional offer, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. So we moved to Texas, right? So I did my research for Allen. I saw that it was one of the safest cities in the country, would rank top 10, sometimes rank 1 based on population.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're doing awesome. Believe it or not, because everything is super expensive. But when I looked at the, schools comparatively, to Allen, like it was the best deal that I could see as far as trying to live somewhere that would have access to good schools, at least back when I initially came down here. So did that, started, and I took it for granted, thinking that it would be good medical benefits, because I was like, okay, I need medical benefits for my daughter. And I'm like, okay, you get in public safety to serve, but it's traditionally, that you're going to have good benefits to take care of your family, at least like, medical and whatnot. And there one day at the end, hopefully there's a retirement, right? So I get there and they're showing us what medical benefits, and it's the worst medical benefits I've ever seen, even when I was working is in private sector. And I'm like, well, where's a better plan? I'll pay more. And like, no, this is it. This is all you get. So that was rough. So sometimes, like if, my daughter would have her Medicaid, Social Security Disability, if I stayed and I did a shift of overtime, she would lose it. So I knew like this wasn't going to work. Like I had to find something else. Well, now I'm in Texas. I'm back again, right? So everything is here. So living in Allen, right? I looked at Allen Fire and Allen Police because I wasn't adverse to doing police. I just wanted to have an opportunity to serve my community, right? And be part of the community because I've been in Allen this whole time as well. So it's a fantastic place. So I was for both. And I just happened to get hired by the Allen Police Department. So it has worked out pretty good for me where I've been really fortunate in my career here where, I've got to do a lot of different things pretty quickly. Like, so if you look at field training and patrol and all that, that was about 4 years. And then I went upstairs to go be a training coordinator, which I know a lot of people will say, oh, that's boring. That's like the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. That has to do with like our badge, right? And making sure that we're doing all the training and everything that we need, right, to have in order to do this job. So making sure that we're in compliance, helping out with accreditation in reference to training, getting to train a lot myself. So I'm a combatives instructor, did that for a long time here. Tactical Emergency Medical Services, like all the tourniquets, hemostatic agents, all that stuff, done that for a long time. Plus I've taught a bunch of stuff. And I was fortunate that the Plano-Richardson Police Academy has started while I was as the training coordinator, and the Allen Police Department was asked, 5 agencies, so it's Plano and Richardson, and then McKinney, Allen, and Frisco were asked to help participate. So they sent me down there to help like on the back end, getting everything started with like the testing procedures, being in compliance with TCOL, and then they liked me so much that they were like, hey, we want this guy to be here. And I was staying there full time, like working 7 days straight, like keeping the department with everything I needed to do, and then actually coordinating recruits. Like I had BPOC 3, I had that one. It was still, I think I hold the record, the biggest class down there, Plano-Richardson Police Academy. Got them all 100% graduated, and I was just training a lot. So, and then from there, I went on after about 5 years total. I went on the community relations, which now it's been about over 2.5 years. For sure. So I've been really fortunate with all the different things that I've been able to do. Like SWAT, I got off SWAT this year. I've done that cumulatively for a little over 5 years as their tactical medic. So I've had my hand in a lot of different things.
Wear a lot of hats. I gotta ask you something though.
Yeah.
So I heard this rumor. So you've been a fireman, police officer for a long time. I heard a rumor that you were a professional video gamer back in the day.
Yes. So
Is that true?
So remember I told you with Austin in 06? So the history with all that is, so I'm 41 now. So when I was probably about 16, that's when I picked up, quote, professional gaming, which they say like, well, to do that has to be the majority of your income, which for a while, like it was. The majority of my income was from competing at international tournaments, which oddly enough were here in Dallas, Texas. They were not always in Dallas, but every time I was coming down here, they were like at the Hilton Anatole in downtown Dallas, if I'm saying that correctly. And then it's been at other places in this Metroplex over the years. And I did that into like my early 20s, even like throughout college. I think I even competed in a tournament when I was working for Dallas Fire, even when I was a firefighter paramedic. I think that was the last tournament I ever went to, was back then. And then I didn't make a ton of money. It's probably like less than $10,000 over the course.
I don't feel like that's a career you grow old in.
Well, yeah, you age out of it. Your reflexes go
Yeah.
these young kids, it's just wild.
I've tried to play with my kids, and it's like I last about 5 minutes and I'm done.
That's the only reason why I knew anything about this area. The only reason I put in for Austin, wanted to work at Austin, is I transferred with FedEx. And I wanted to go to Phoenix, Arizona, because they were hiring a ton of police officers. Yeah. And I got denied the transfer, and I got accepted an Austin transfer. So I transferred with FedEx, and that's how then
You got on with Austin.
Yeah, I got on with Austin PD. That's how it was all connected. And the only reason I knew
that worked out.
Yeah, I only knew about it because I went to Landing, which people listening probably like, what is Landing? When you'd have to like put your computers together, right? Instead of going online. So you would see what like a tournament would be at, where it's like 0 ping. And it was in Plano. Like the land centers were in Plano. That's the only reason I knew about this area at all.
What What games did you play?
So I started off with Unreal Tournament and like Quake. Those were the big ones, like old school first person shooters. And then when they ported like Halo, so the young people might still remember Halo when they ported that with a PC. Then Enemy Territory, like Quake Wars. And it was mostly just first person shooter games, all with a mouse and keyboard, by the way.
Oh,
because I know they keep doing these tournaments at the event center, and I'm like, yeah, well, that's like with controllers. It's not the same.
it's a lot different.
Yeah, speaking of that deal at the event center, I worked that competition. Oh my goodness! Like people wear jerseys
Oh yeah,
for their team, and it was a sellout every day, and people were in there going crazy cheering for their team when they would show up. I was like, this is insane.
and that's small. Like this market here is small in comparison to Europe and elsewhere, like Asian markets.
Switching back to the Allen Police Department. So is there anything new going on?
So we were talking about Eventbrite, but to segue into that, the website, not just the Allen Police Department website, but all of the city pages have just gotten a complete refresh, hopefully more user-friendly, right? So you can get to quick access to the things that you need very fast, hopefully a better experience on your phone as well. So Allen Police Department, of course, is part of that refresh, where you can also then go to the community outreach section and all the different things you can see. And before I talk to Eventbrite, because I don't want to forget, the community crime mapping tool is on there. You can quickly access that, so you can look at crime trends or just look at the general crime. We're very transparent. We'll show you all that data that's happening in Allen. We'll show you all that. We also have for Class C, so for those that are like, what is a Class C misdemeanor? Like, let's say like something that's equivalent to like a speeding ticket or like a Class C theft, something that's that Class C misdemeanor, you can go online and file it. You can file your own charge. You can still call us, right? We can still come out and still address it, but you're not going to be able to do that and it's been also for if you need to do anything with crashes or like a hit and run, but like if there's anything above that, you still need to call us so we can come out and we can file the report, we can investigate and all that. So all that information is there. The Eventbrite, we'll be adding that also to our social media pages, which is also important that you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We still have X, but Facebook and Instagram are our biggest ones that we use. Facebook is going to be the biggest as far as like information for us. So you'll be able to, we'll be adding that with Eventbrite's link is on there, but you'll also find that on the city page as well, Eventbrite. The reason why that's important is because if you follow it, it will automatically notify you when the next, RAD class is, the next Condition 6 class is, or any sort of event, right, that I haven't talked about, because sometimes we do one-offs, like just events that are maybe once a year, something like that. Citizen Police Academy that I mentioned like twice a year, it'll be on Eventbrite. Just like how the fire department, they do that as well. Shout out to the fire department. So if you didn't know this, now you do. You can check out the fire department's Eventbrite that way as well.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's one thing you could tell the community, what would it be?
So we're getting pretty close now to holiday shopping, right? So
Shopping season.
all right, what is that? Spending money. So, and gifts everywhere. So I remember when I was growing up, there was a couple of different ways parents can hide their presents. You either hide the presents all in the closet and hope the kids don't find it. I don't think mine did it, but I've heard stories of people keeping them like in their trunks. That's not a great idea to be stowing your stuff in your trunks, but like in a more practical sense, we'll see where people will go and they're hitting a bunch of different stores and maybe they have a hatchback and they're in between shopping, they're putting presents inside places inside the vehicle that you can see, and then they're going to make other purchases. We want to avoid that as much as possible. We also want to try to not be doing things like late at night, making sure we're doing it in well-lit areas, making sure that people aren't following us back to our cars, that we don't have very suspicious cars that are now parked right next to our car that were not parked there before we went to the store, right? Especially if there's like a bunch of parking everywhere. Why is this random van parked next to my car, right? And always having your keys ready when you go into your car, not fiddling, looking for your keys, making sure that you're locking your car. As soon as you get into your car, that can prevent a lot of problems right there if you just lock your car immediately when you get inside your car. And what do people like to do during the holidays? They like to get with family. You like to go out, go on vacation, right? Go out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's put that on Facebook when you get back in your home. We don't want to advertise that to everybody that, hey, no one's at our house. You can come by and check it out while we're gone. So we don't want to advertise that. One thing that you can do, that's what we're here for. We don't mind. If you want to call up the Allen Police Department and put a special watch where an officer will go by and they'll periodically check to see if something's been damaged to their house, if there's been a break-in. They just go look and make sure, right, everything is okay. We're more than happy to do that. Don't hesitate to call if you're going to be away for an extended period of time. And I think that's the majority of the ones. Hopefully I didn't miss any. Hopefully you can help me out if I missed some.
It sounds like just overall awareness
Correct.
during the season.
Yes.
Keep your eyes out of your phone when we're walking through parking lots.
Thank you. Eyes out of your phone. That's not the time to do it. Do it afterwards.
So we're going to take a moment to answer some questions from our viewers. One of our questions is about our new boxing gym. Would you like to share a little bit about our new boxing gym?
Sure. So Allen IC has been great where they helped us out with Roundtree Elementary, which was, to me, it's still called Roundtree Elementary. It's pretty close to my house, but it's a youth boxing gym. It's free for the people that have access to it, and it's going to be for age 10 to 18. It's not just for Allen residents. It's for, North Texas, and it's just going to be a great opportunity for law enforcement to be involved with the youths in a non-enforcement capacity. And I know y'all have been very heavily involved with the setup, so I'm going to pass it back to y'all to kind of fill in the gaps and let them know what our motto is.
So our motto is mentoring future leaders, and we just want a presence with our officers and our youth, and a good mentorship between them, and involvement in like their health and different resources that we provide.
So one thing about it, we'll open up early 2025. There'll always be an officer on site when the gym's open, and it's all volunteer based. Most of us officers, like, I don't know anything about boxing, but if they need me to come in and sweep the floors, I'll sweep the floors if that's what they need me to do to help out. But it's all going to be volunteer driven, where we have actual boxing coaches that are going to come in and they're going to teach our youth and teach some of our officers, how to box. And like Alexa said, it's mentoring our future leaders. This is a place for them to go to be part of a group, be part of a team, so to speak, where they can, learn discipline, learn, the skills of boxing. And there's just a lot that goes into the sport that goes deeper than just the athletic side of it. So it's going to be a great program that we're really, really excited about.
Yeah, and our gym's not just limited to our Allen residents. It's for all North Texas kids that would love to join our gym. They're all welcome.
Well, Mike, we really appreciate you coming on today and talking to us.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we leave today?
No, just make sure you keep checking out our social media. There's always just a lot of information that's on there. We like to put everything that's happening, right? Even if it's traffic related, and you just don't know unless you follow, right? So make sure you're following on all our pages.
If you're interested in any of these programs, there's more information on our city website at allenpolice.org.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below.
See you next time.